Hello and welcome. Today we'll be discussing sequencing. Understanding sequencing. Authors point and supporting evidence. I can order events in a logical sequence. Think about your morning routine before school. What do you do first, next, last? Put the pictures in order. Well, I know when I get up, the first thing I do is brush my teeth, take a shower. We have to first get up out of bed. After we put on our clothes, then we sit down and we have us a quick breakfast. What are events? Events are important things that happen. A sequence is the order in which events happen. Knowing the correct sequence of events will help you understand and remember what you read. We use signal words like first, next, and last to show a sequence of events. You can describe the sequence of events by using signal words. The word first lets you know that it is the beginning of the story or a sequence of events. First, I ate dinner. The word next tells you that the event is happening somewhere in the middle of the story or a sequence of events. Next, I brushed my teeth. The word last tells you that it is the end of the story or a sequence of events. Last, I went to bed. It is important to know the correct sequence of events or stories because it will help you understand and remember information. First, they walk down the aisles. Next, they exchange vows. Lastly, they go off to their honeymoon. Understanding sequencing. It is spring and time for the farmers to plant their crops in the fields. First, they purchase the seeds that they need to plant. Next, they fill the planters with the seeds. Last, they drive the tractors with the planters attached and plant the seeds. What happened first in this story? Farmers purchase seeds. What happened last? Farmers plant the seeds. What happened in the middle? Farmers fill the planter. Drag the pictures to show the sequence of events in the correct order. First, we have to look up what our recipe is. We prepare our ingredients. We cook our ingredients. Our food is made, and then we can serve. So we read our recipe, we prepare our food, we cook our food, put the food on the plate, and then we eat. Number the events in the correct sequence. Get my marker. Smoke filled the room. The firefighters put out the fire. The smoke alarm went off. Someone called 911. So I'm going to put 1 for the smoke alarm went off. 2, someone called 911. 3, smoke filled the room. And 4, the firefighters put out the fire. Over here, we have a picture of children building a snowman. So we built a snowman. It started to snow. We went outside to play. We put on our hats. It started to snow. We put on our hats and gloves. We went outside to play. We built a snowman. The next one says we ate the jam. We picked strawberries. Mom and I made strawberry jam. We put the jam on bread. First thing we did was we picked strawberries. Next thing, Mom and I made strawberry jam. Third one, we put the jam on the bread. 4, we ate the jam. Okay. Number the events in the correct sequence. We went to the tree farm. We decorated the tree. We picked out a tree for Christmas. We went to the tree farm. We picked out a tree for Christmas. We decorated the tree. Next one says we bought our airplane tickets. We landed in Italy. We took a tour of Rome on a bus. We drove to the airport. First thing we did was we bought our airplane tickets. Then we drove to the airport. Then we landed in Italy. And 4, we took a tour of Rome on a bus. The next one says we have a picture of colored eggs. Next one says we colored the Easter eggs. My grandmother boiled the eggs. We hunted for the eggs in the tall grass. But first of all, my grandmother boiled the eggs. Next, we colored the Easter eggs. And 3, we hunted for the eggs in the tall grass. Understanding sequence. Sandy and I went shopping in the mall downtown. She wanted to buy a new dress for the high school dance, so we went to the dress shop first. Next, we went to the shoe store to get her some fancy slippers. Finally, we went to the food court and got a hamburger and fries because we were tired and hungry. What happened last in the story? We ate hamburger and fries. What happened in the middle? We went to the shoe store. What happened first? We went to the dress shop. Let's review. As we read, we need to take notice of the order in which things happen or order that ideas are presented in. The sequence is the order in which events happen. What happened? What order would you use to make a sandwich? Choose the signal word that tells when something is happening at the end of a story or event. If you chose finally, you are correct. Choose the signal word that tells when something is happening at the end of a story or event. If you chose finally, you are correct. Choose the signal word that tells when something is happening in the middle of the story. You said next, you are correct. Should the following sentence come at the beginning, middle, or end of the story or event? Finally, the prince and the princess lived happily ever after in the beautiful castle. You said end, you are correct. Should the following sentence come at the beginning, middle, or end of the story or event? Next, add tomato and pickle to the ham and cheese sandwich. You said middle, you are correct. Should the following sentence come at the beginning, middle, or end of the story or event? First, read the recipe and gather the ingredients for the breakfast casserole. You said beginning, you are correct. Should the following sentence come at the beginning, middle, or end of the story or event? The bell rang and the students lined up to be dismissed for the day. You said end, you are correct. Should the following sentence come at the beginning, middle, or end of the story or event? Later, we boarded the plane and were on our way to the amusement park. If you said middle, you are correct. Should the following sentence come at the beginning, middle, or end of the story or event? Lastly, we landed in Florida to have a wonderful vacation. If you said end, you are correct. Should the following sentence come at the beginning, middle, or end of the story or event? That evening, Dad read me a good night story and then I went to sleep. You said end, you are correct. What did you learn? I can order a sequence of events in a logical order. First, I drove to the shopping mall. Next, I found the items on my list. Then I checked out at the counter. Last, I took my items home to enjoy. Johnny Appleseed. John Chapman was born in Massachusetts on September 26, 1774. He was called Johnny Appleseed because he loved to plant apple trees. Johnny was 18 years old when he headed to Pennsylvania. His dream was to plant so many apple trees that no one would ever go hungry. Along the way, he sold and gave away seeds to the pioneers. In 1842, he went on his last trip west to Ohio. In 1845, he died of pneumonia at the age of 71. His memory is kept alive so that we can remember his work in developing fruit growing in the Middle East. What happened first, next, and last? Well, the first thing that happened here was it talked about how Johnny Appleseed loved to plant apple trees and that he was born in Massachusetts. What happened next? Johnny was 18 when he headed to Pennsylvania, and his dream was to plant apple trees everywhere so that no one would ever go hungry. The last thing that happened is Johnny died of pneumonia at the age of 71. Use your prior knowledge. On a piece of paper or dry erase board, write about something that you know about. Make sure that you use the correct sequence of events in your writing. Add drawings. As a class, discuss some topics.